said.
Just to
Man more.
to briefly chime in on what all of you have mentioned, especially as it regards to affordable housing in the land bank and how it's been set up. I think if you were to go back over the past, and I'll keep it brief, if you go back from the establishment of the land bank and what they were doing, and I think the intent of it was very well, because you had homes that were under the control of family, they're heir property, no one's paying the taxes. So the city put a mechanism in place to come, to acquire them. And you correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Sheila, if I say anything wrong. So I think it started off on the right track of, you couldn't control how the blight was there, it was acquired. I know kind of firsthand, at least in the last 36 months, there have been a lot of corporate entities who have acquired some of these homes and these lots. And I cannot fault any individual for believing in themselves to and invest in the community to make some money, because that's, if you want to use your money to make some money. So they get it at a good price from the land bank, they build a house and they sell it, or they rehab the property and they flip it and they make some money. I don't begrudge anyone from doing that. But I think there does not need to be a city system set up in place that would exclude a working class individual who's making about $50,000 or $60,000. That individual should have the same access as a corporate entity to come in to acquire the land or acquire the property. I'm just throwing it out there, and then that's that. Now I know I was on here to speak as it relates to pension issues with the city of Birmingham, and I'll be real brief with that. In 2018, when the current administration came in, the city of Birmingham's pension system was approximately 72% funded. There was some dialogue, and there was some dialogue post-election and even shortly after election. There was a push for our system to be merged with Retirement Systems of Alabama. Retirement Systems of Alabama is basically the state pension system. That's the big gorilla in the room. That's a $40 billion plan that services well over 300,000 people in the state of Alabama who are beneficiaries. Excellent plan, and it's ran by Dr. Bronner. He's the CEO of it. But our system, City of Birmingham system, that year was better funded than the state system. So why would somebody that doesn't make sense. If you got more money percentage-wise than they got, well, why would you want to go into that? The city pension system, the debt that carries on the city's ledger, Gatsby rules, and I'm going way back, Gatsby rules changed probably about 20 years ago now. It used to be a time when the city did not have to count the unfunded portion of the city on its CAFCA, or basically that is a municipal credit score. That's what a CAFCA is. They didn't have to count the city's, the unfunded liability of a pension, but the rules changed. So now that has to be held on there. This mayor had some legislation passed, and it was under the guise of fixing the system. And I'm going to speak on that because I know this, because I've been doing this over 25 years. Our system was not broken, but they wanted to eliminate the unfunded liability, because if they didn't, the credit rating agency said, your bond rating is going to go down. It's going to cost you more money to borrow money if you don't get this down. So laws were passed, and now it's mandatory that whatever the actuary that comes in, the accountant that comes in every year and says, you need this much money put into the pension system so it can get to 100%. And they have to do that. They absolutely, and it doesn't matter if Mr. Wolfman isn't re-elected, the next mayor, they'll still have to do that because that's the state law. But it also reduced what employees, future employees, any employee hired after July 1st of 2021, the most they can ever get is 67%. Any police officer hired after July 1st of 2018, the most they will ever be able to get is 60, let me change that. The police officer will be able to get 68%. A civilian employee the most they'll ever be able to get is roughly about 53%.
Wow. 40 and what was it?
It was 75%. That's wrong.
Yeah.
So you got two people doing the same job, but because one person got hired a year before I got hired, we gonna make the same pay. He gonna do 30 years and he gonna get 75%. I'm gonna do 30 years and I'm gonna get 52. Tell me, how is that right?
That's right. That's right.
How can you attract the best and brightest talent?
That's right.
Now what's gonna happen, because Birmingham is so large, they're gonna come there, they're gonna get the experience, they're gonna know what to do.
That's right.
I applaud every city of Birmingham employee. I have much love and respect for them because I did it for 27 years. You learn a lot. You can grow your resume. Especially with the generation that we have going into the workforce now, their loyalties is to themselves. They're going to come there 3 to 5 years and they out the door. Whereas I come from a generation, the way my parents raised me, boy, you get you somewhere where you can work and get you a pension.
That's right.
Yes, always gonna be some problems at a job, but you get you somewhere where you can earn to get a pension. And once again, I operate a little different than other folks. I started planning my own personal retirement when I was 18 years old.
Right.
I started investing to the stock market when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
I made a promise with myself and the good Lord that, Lord, if you give me the strength, let me work the plan that you give me, and at 55 I work because I want to and not because I have to. And so now I retired 2 times. I retired from the military and I retired from the city, and I'm working on the 3rd. And I said all of this to say this. We have retirees in the city of Birmingham who have not had an increase in 30 years.
Come on.
30 years, that's 3 decades. It might be some folks in here who ain't even 30 years old.
Wow.
So since before you was born, it was people who retired, who spent 20 and 30 years, the best years of their life in service to the city. And they hadn't got an increase since then.
Wow. Oh, boy.
In April of this year, there were 8 trustees that showed up at the pension board meeting. And all 8 trustees, the chairman of the board, which is the mayor included, they all agreed that retirees should get a $400 increase. That was the motion that was put out. Now, mind you, you ain't got a raise in 30 years. That ain't even keeping up with the price of inflation.
That's on your pension check, right?
That's correct. A $400 increase. Now, I'm telling you because I had retirees to come there and speak. $400, just $400. They ain't keeping up with inflation, but they were appreciative of that. The original plan was to do a 3.5% increase, but a 3.5% increase for somebody. Let's say you got a retired employee who getting $4,000 a month, and then you got one who getting $1,000 a month. What is 3.5% to somebody who getting $1,000 a month? Because we have retirees who getting $1,000 a month. We have retirees who getting $400 a month, and their widows are getting $320. We asked for a $400 across the board. All 8 trustees agreed to do that, and it was moved forward. And the chairman of the board said, "I don't know what the city council is going to do." Now let me go ahead and give you a little information. Every budget that has been placed before this council since in these last 4 years and in the 4 years before that has been passed. And in that motion, it was said that the chairman of the board, which is the mayor, you would tote the water to get this done. We just asking for $400. That's $18 million. The budget comes out, it's over $500 million. The largest budget in the city of Birmingham history, $591 million. For these retirees, I'm asking for $18 million. And what did I get? Y'all hear? You hear them crickets? That's the same thing I got.
Zero.
See, got nothing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing.
That's not right.
Nothing. And myself, and I don't mind being painted the bad guy. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. It's okay. Because the one thing that I promised my retirees when I ran for, this is an elected position, elected by the retirees of the city of Birmingham. I said I would advocate for you, I will fight for you, but one thing I will never do, I will not tell a lie to get you more money. I don't care if it gets you more money. I will not tell a lie. Because I deal only in facts and numbers. That's all I deal with. I don't deviate from that. Especially at my age, it's harder to keep up with a lie. So it's hard to keep up with a lie. Just keep up with the truth. We asked for $400.
Wow.
In the salary surplus alone, now just in 2022, the police chief returned back to the city for money that was not spent in his budget, $12 million. $12 million. That's just from that department that wasn't spent. Now, the city got multiple departments. We asked them, could we not look at salary surplus to do this?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Could we not? Okay. So they kept saying that we have to have excess returns, and it was just minimal. I said, well, how much was it? He said, we got roughly $1 million. I wanted to put out a motion, well, you got $1 million, we got $1 million in excess returns. Now, mind you, the city of Birmingham's pension system is a $1.2 billion system. $1.2 billion. There are more assets, employee assets, in the pension system than the city's budget. I put the motion out there, well, if we have $1 million in excess returns, let's take 17 million, that's 18 million, to give these people relief. And what was I met with? No. Okay then, Mr. Chairman, what is your plan to do something for the retirees to give them some type of relief? Well, I got the same plan y'all got. Everything that I'm saying, I'm not adding to and I ain't taking away. It's on the record because I deal with things being on the record. I don't do backdoor side meetings, and I know. Let's keep everything on the record. Because we're all adults, we can keep it above board. It is wrong.
Yes.
It is inhumane.
Yes.
That we have men and women who have served the city of Birmingham, and they have to make the decision, do I get my blood pressure medicine,
yes,
or do I buy some food to eat?
That's right.
Then you need to eat your food to take your medicine.
That's right.
So what you gonna do?
That's right.
It is wrong. And here it is. We were asking for $18 million, $400. If somebody could do the math, what is 18 million in the tune to a $591 million budget? I can pretty much play with the numbers. That's not even 2% of the budget.
Wow.
That's not 2%. But we were met with no. That bothers me.
Yes.
That concerns me. Most importantly, let's say you don't work for the city, and you ask yourself, well, I just live in the city, and why should I be concerned? You should be concerned. What is the quality of police officer or fireman or public works person? What is the quality of the person who's going to be when they know if I come and work, this is what I'm going to get?
That's right.
I ain't finna work myself like that for them folks.
That's
I'm finna
right.
get this little piece of training and go on about my business.
Absolutely. That's right.
Working for the city and serving the citizens of Birmingham has been one of the greatest joys of my life. I ain't being hokey, I'm just being honest. Because my life has been about service. Not serving myself, but serving others.
Right.
And look, yeah, I want to make a decent wage. I got a wife and a mortgage and kids, and I want to be able to take care of them. And the city of Birmingham absolutely has afforded me that. But it is absolutely wrong. And to give you a perfect example, a captain, which is an executive level position in the city of Birmingham Police Department. In 1996, captain's top out pay was $55,000.
Wow.
So this captain retired and she got 75% of $55,000, and she hadn't got an increase since then. How is it right?
Make it make sense.
How is it right when we just asked for $400? $400. I do not understand it. I'll never understand it. And in the same token, what I will not do, I will never back down or shirk from my responsibilities or duties, and I will not stop that fight. I will be moving forward. when this conversation takes place next year, whoever the mayor may be, this has got to come up. Now, it was mentioned in the meeting that, the chairman was blindsided and some other trustees were blindsided. How can you be blindsided and you've been sitting in this position 7.5 years? How you gonna be blindsided? Well, you ain't never did that for him. We know this. You ain't never did that for him. Now, did he inherit some problems from previous administrations? Absolutely, absolutely. But in that same token, when the laws changed to make it mandatory that they pay into the system to make it whole and reducing future employees' benefits, not only did it affect future employees, but their spouses. So right now, if you got hired by the city at a certain time, if you do 30 years and you want to retire, and you got a wife or a husband, if you want them to get something in case you should die, you got to give up 20% of your pension. So your spouse, now in my case, my spouse, because I served the time that I served, if I pass away, my wife is going to get 60% of my pension, of 60% of what I'm getting presently. She'll get 60%. And my underage daughter, if I got a child that's under the age of 18, they'll get 60% until they turn 18. That's right. But how is it that somebody serves 30 years and then you say, well, if you want your wife to get some, you're going to have to give up 20% of what you're going to get monthly. Now, you're already getting something reduced. All of this plays into the quality of your workforce coming into place. And the last thing I'm going to speak on as it relates to the land thing, because I heard a candidate use this at the forum the other day, and I thought, yeah, I wonder where he got that from. I'm a firm believer in not reinventing the wheel. In the city of Atlanta, their police has a foundation. That police foundation, of course, and just to explain, you cannot use your tax dollars to necessarily pay for the mortgage of an employee. You can't do that. That's not how government works. But this police foundation, specifically in Atlanta, they also have one in Charlotte. That foundation takes donations from corporate entities. And they, in turn, if you live in the city limits of Atlanta, in Charlotte, they pay your mortgage for 5 years and give you a take-home car. The city of Birmingham has a police foundation. The city of Birmingham has an EIN or tax number that has a foundation. It's set up. It needs a executive director, and you can move forward with taking in the money. You cannot tell me, even in Ensley, in Tittsville, you tell a man or a woman who is a police officer, we'll pay your mortgage for 5 years if you live in a house for 5 years. You can do what you want to with it after that. You ain't paying a mortgage for 5 years. You can keep that house and move wherever you want to and rent that one out of Airbnb. But when you have police officers living in the neighborhoods that may be distressed, right, it changes the dynamic of the neighborhood. Lil Pookie and JoJo ain't finna come slang on that block. Because they know Officer Ron and Officer D'Angelo and Officer Cunningham, man, police all over here. I ain't finna come slang no dope over here. I ain't finna come break in the car over here, because shoot, I break in the car over here, they might light me up. If I break in their house, they might be pulling me out in the bucket bag. You're absolutely right. Because you come break in my house, you might break in, but you're gonna get carried out. That's the bottom line. That changes the dynamics of the neighborhood. Now you ask yourself, what impact would this be to a city budget? Not a dime. Zero. You cannot tell me they're not corporate entities that would gladly write a $250,000, $500,000 check to a police foundation to come improve every neighborhood in the 99 neighborhoods of the city of Birmingham. If you had 10 police officers living in every neighborhood in the city of Birmingham, one thing, and I'm gonna be a gambling man, I'll roll the dice, I guarantee you crime gonna come down. Overnight. Oh, if you got 10 in all 99 neighborhoods, and I can tell you this, because I work at a campus municipal police department now. I ain't gonna say which one, because I ain't representing them right now. I'm representing Dexter and these retirees, and I live in the city limit right here. I I got co-workers who live in Coleman and Tuscaloosa County, and I was telling them about it, and he's like, Dexter, Birmingham said they paid for my mortgage for 5 years. I'm packing up my wife, and we coming right now. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. That's a win. That's a win. You're gonna get a quality police officer. You're gonna change the dynamics of the neighborhood. Your tax revenue is gonna come up because they're living in Birmingham. They're probably gonna do some shopping in Birmingham too. And the city is safer overall. Now, somebody was told this, and if they say they didn't tell them, they're not telling the truth, and I ain't gonna mention their name. But somebody was told this, somebody who is in a position of authority, and to make it happen. When they came to that town hall meeting at the lodge, I asked that specific question. And that person told me, well, how do you know we got a foundation?
Wow.
So you playing with me. I've been doing this since you was in grade school. Okay. And now you're leading the city and you're even questioning. This is something that's going to help the city and the citizens. We, the people in this room, after this election is done, there'll be some more campaigning for a couple of weeks. We got to do a better job of holding our elected officials accountable. They can say, what's the old saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You make that phone call, and look, we all got lives. You can't be at every city council meeting. You can't be at every committee meeting. But if you send that email and you are at those meetings, because I ask my retirees, I'll tell them in a heartbeat, I say, look, I need you at the meeting. Come at the meeting because he thinks it's just me and it's a fight against him. I ain't fighting nobody. I'm fighting for my people, and I always will. I don't know any other way to be. If they tell me to stop it, then I'll probably resign because I only know how to do what's right, especially for the least served. You have no idea how it has hurt my heart when the city of Birmingham was hacked. And a widow, her husband had served 30 years with the police department. And the city employee in the pension division told him, oh, well, our system is hacked. We can't take your application now, and we don't know when it's going to be back up. She don't know how she's going to pay her mortgage. I said, ma'am, you give me I got a meeting. We'll get something done for you. Once again, if I gotta be the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy. She got an application by the end of that week. Now, how did she get an application at the end of the week? It should not take me acting a donkey to do right by my folks. But if you want to see a donkey, he haul, I'll give him to you. He coming, I'll ride in, I will ride in. 2 weeks later, I had the same thing happen to another widow. She had lost the love of her life. She had been to City Hall 3 times, and they still wouldn't do right by her. I said, I tell you what, I'll meet you down there. She said, would you do that? I said, yeah, I get off of work at 6 o'clock. Let me go home and take a shower. I'll meet you down there at 9 o'clock, because I worked 12 hours the night before. But she's wondering if she's going to lose her house. We went in there, and I said, hey, I need y'all to fill out this application. She also needs the life insurance policy. She was worried about her meter running dry. I said, man, I'll go put the money in there. And we did, and I came back. And she said, well, Dexter, when we leave, I got to tell you something. I said, okay. We got everything squared away. Everything's filled out. She said, well, you know the walls are kind of thin up there. I said, yeah. And they were saying that, well, why we got to do that? I heard them talking how to do it. Why we got to do all this? Why can't she just wait like everybody else? And somebody said, hey, you know who out there with her, right? That's Dexter Cunningham. You don't want the smoke he gonna bring. Let's go ahead and give this woman what she needs. She said, Dexter, I hope they pay you well for your job. I said, no, I don't get paid for this.
Yeah, come on.
Ain't no pay. This is what look, I don't even want any acknowledgement or praise to tell the truth about it. That don't mean nothing to me.
That's right.
God has blessed me greatly. I got a duty to help somebody who needs some help.
That's right.
And look, if you pat me on the back, it's fine. If you just nod your head, that's okay with me. That means nothing to me. Yeah. And it's been told that I wanted to be the mayor. Man, I want to help these retirees. That's what I want. I just want you to do your job. Because I did it to you at the end of the day. Even though I don't get paid for what I do, well, I'm going to do mine.
That's right.
I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna have receipts and documents with it. I don't speak from a place of emotion or my opinion. Now, I gave you my opinion on the stuff that I said. Now, when it comes to these pension issues, I speak on the place of facts and not fiction. I have spoken at pension conferences all over this country. I am the only City of Birmingham employee or representative who has attended Harvard Law School for Advanced Trustee Studies. I don't say that to be bragging now. That's not. I'm just trying to let you know, when I speak on it, I know what I'm talking about. And it's not from a place of arrogance or hubris, but it's from a place of service.
You just said something. You know what? I'm so glad I'm sitting here. Now we know the real reason why they can't recruit. We know the real reason now. And thank you for telling. So the problem that we now have to address is the fact that if we know we have the infrastructure and we have the nonprofit, the foundation that I just spoke about, so that's not the issue. The issue is leadership. And so if the issue is leadership that look like me and you, that's hurting the people that is here, then that means that we need to do what? Adjust leadership. So you're telling me that administration, counselors, I don't care, I call them out because I have family that's here. You sit and you sat with these same people that got millions upon millions of dollars that you can easily say, hey, don't get nothing in my campaign. Get what I need you to do. Take that money, take that down. Go throw it right on over there for them good people over there. And guess what you can run on? Not only did I give my employees and my retirees some nice extra cuffs, I also got it set up to where, well, guess what? I made a deal with the boys that for the next 5 years, next 4 years while in my office, add an extra $2-3 million in there. But right now, we sit up here having a whole conversation about something that can be easily fixed. And then you also sit up here telling me that we have people that are currently working for the city that are complaining about something that they are being paid to do. Oh, absolutely not.
Once again, I don't, this is not based on, I don't have a personal axe to grind or agenda with anybody. I just want to see my people done right. And in fact, I'm not going to accept anything less. I'm not. I'm just not. And if Phyllis has known me for years and D'Angelo has known me for a little while, look, if we can get it fixed and somebody else can take the credit for it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But what you're not going to do, you're not going to play in my face and treat my people any kind of way and think I'm not going to clap back. Once again, not literally to harm anybody, but just use the facts that are in place. Right now, we have even, there are a lot of progressive things that are taking place with the pension board and trying to move it in the right direction. Working for the city of Birmingham should be the easiest recruitment tool to be the word police, fire, or anything else. But we've got to keep the people informed. Most people are not informed. I can tell you this. I had deputy chiefs and captains who retired from the city of Birmingham, and they had no idea when they was going to get their money, how they was going to get figured out, or anything else. They had no idea. They had no idea. We have what they call a 457B plans, which is like a deferred comp. They take pre-tax dollars, you direct that money to be invested by the managers of that, and then that's a supplement to even your pension. Right. Because what a lot of people don't know, police and firemen don't pay into Social Security now. We don't get no Social Security unless we work a job. And I know Social Security might be on its last legs, but you know, with some years that I worked before I became a police officer, that I paid into Social Security. I pay into Social Security presently. But if you do 30 years in the city of Birmingham and you never pay into Social Security, you ain't gonna get a dime. All you're gonna have is your pension. We have got to do right by the people who presently serve, and especially right by those who have previously served. You know, it's just not right, especially when you got a $500 million budget and you tell me you couldn't find $18 million for these folks to give him a measly $400 increase? $400. $400 a month. I don't understand that.
And that was just one time.
And yeah, it was just supposed to be for the year. So now, presently what I'm doing, I do have some colleagues at different parts of the country, trustees, and I found a plan out in Texas that could potentially allow us to give a 13th check to retirees. And it has something to do with how we invest our money. And we have some smart money managers, and we have some really good people who serve on the board. We do.
13 check, what that mean?
So basically how it works with Sheila, if the system generates enough revenue, so presently we project our system to generate at least 8% in returns. Let's say the system generates 11. They give you 11%. So we met our benchmark of 8% returns, but we actually made 10 or 11. Because we generated more money, we should be in a situation where we could give every retiree a 13th check, because retirees get paid once a month. So we should be in a situation where at the end of the year we can give them a 13th check.
So how old you have to be in order to retire from the city?
So we don't have a rule of 85. So let's say if you start as a policeman at 19 years of age and you do 20 years, at 39 you can start getting 50% of your salary. 10 years later, because like I said, that law was changed a couple of years ago, you'll get the maximum benefit of 67 and a third. So now when I was hired on back in 1991, March 25th, 1991, when I started Birmingham Police Department, it was actually a 25-year retirement. But in I hired in 91, probably around 96, 97, there was a law passed that the FOP pushed down in Montgomery to roll us back to a 20-year retirement. So now, almost 15% of an active police officer's salary goes towards pension.
Because it was 5 years at one time. I know when I was working there.
It was 5.
It was 5 years.
So as far as the vesting time, it's 10 now.
It went from 5 to 10.
It's 10 years vested. So if you did, let's say you got hired in the city of Birmingham
In 2013.
in 2013, and you did
2018.
2013 to 2018, you did 5 years and you paid into the system, then you would be eligible for a pension based on your years of service. Now it ain't gonna be it wouldn't be the same amount of money as somebody who has served 25 or 30 years,
Right.
but it would be something. It would be something. So in Birmingham, if you serve, if you're hired, you do 10 years. If you can do 10 years and you're age of 60, you can get a pension. Now, of course, it's going to be based on your years of service.
Okay. And you would get something with that 13. You said a month 13, you'll get some of that too.
If I can get 5 votes on the board to get that passed. Now I'm working on that. I probably shouldn't have been diarrhea of the mouth and said it. But I don't care. This is on social media and you said it. I'm going to say it. Please mind you, everything that I've spoken is based in fact and truth. If you ask for the pension board minutes, I can show you the minutes, because I make sure no minutes get approved. If I'm at the meeting, it's going to say everything that I said is going to be on there. And everything that anybody else has said, I will not pass a minutes unless it's accurate. So everything I say is based in fact. So hopefully I will have 5 members. It's a 9-member board. Hopefully I'll have 5 members that will be willing to make this move. And this way, we don't have to ask or beg the city to do what it should be doing to do right by people anyway. It's amazing that you put people first. I just wonder what people first it is. They don't work in the city of Birmingham anyway. But I think that if I can get 5 votes to get that done, we can get it done. And then that's less burden. That's less burden on the city. Look, I'm not trying to compromise the city. I know that's a difficult job and there are challenges involved. But just this last thing I'm going to leave you with, $591 million. And then you couldn't have these 3,000 retirees who having to choose between getting their medicine and buying dog food to eat for a measly punk stank of $400. Ain't that right about that?
All right. Thank you.